So what if everything that we learned about learning wasn't always quite correct? Hey everybody, it's Ed the Trainer, and that's what we'll talk about next on this week's Tips on Tuesday. So, most of my life I was taught to study, be prepared, be ready for when the test is given, or work real hard and put together your paper, but you've got to be prepared by outlining and then making a rough draft and then revising your rough draft and then finally getting to your final copy before you submit it. And really the process always has been be so prepared that when it comes time to take the test or submit the paper, that it's perfect before you submit it. And it's this perfection that I want to talk to everybody about this week. And it comes really through the eyes of my 5-year-old son. You see, over the last several weeks, he's had a little bit of difficulty trying to buckle his own seatbelt by himself. To the point, actually, where he became so frustrated that he had a little bit of a meltdown and was crying pretty heavily one day a few weeks back. This past weekend, though, I decided to take a little different tact, and I told him at one point, listen, buddy, you're going to make mistakes. You're not going to get it right. Even if you get it right the first time, you may not get it right the second time, the third time. You might have to look for the fourth. In other words, it's not going to always be perfect, but the more you practice, the better you'll get, to the point where you don't have to worry about it. You won't even think about it. It'll become natural for you, and you'll be a seatbelt buckling professional. So what happened was, in that very same day, every single time we got back and forth into the car, he made me wait, and of course I was willing, but he made me wait for him to buckle his seatbelt himself rather than me helping him. And because I told him to expect that he was going to make mistakes, he didn't get frustrated to the point where he was paralyzed and wanted me to come swoop in and buckle his seatbelt for him. And of course, I had the ability that particular day to be patient with him and let him make mistake after mistake after mistake. And very soon into that day, what happened? Well, he was buckling his seatbelt in no time, and of course, exclaiming every single time, "Hey, Dad, I did it. Dad, I did it all by myself. Dad, I did it. I did it." Very proud of himself. And after the next few days went by, he never made a mistake again. He became a seatbelt expert because I allowed him to make mistakes in buckling that seatbelt. You see, the weeks prior, it seemed as if the pressure was on him so much to be perfect, and maybe we didn't allow him enough time to get the seatbelt in, that he felt like if he didn't get it buckled within 5 seconds, 10 seconds, that he just couldn't do it. But when I allowed him the room, when I allowed him the opportunity to screw up, right, to make mistakes, to do it wrong, and to try and try and try again, he developed the confidence to figure it out himself to the point where he became very good. And I look at this in our own lives and I think, how many of us are paralyzed or stalling because we feel as though something in our life isn't perfect, and therefore we can't launch it, we can't engage, we can't move forward because it's just not ready to go, just not perfect. Sound familiar to anybody? You see, a lot of us are sitting in that perpetual state of perfectionism, waiting for the right time, the right day, the right sign to come and let us know it's time to move forward. Guys, that day is never going to come. Allow yourself a little room to screw it up. Allow yourself a little room to make a mess, to make mistakes, because it's only in that room that you give yourself that flexibility that you'll develop the skills from your mistakes to not be perfect. Let's not make that mistake. To not be perfect, but to make progress. Because if you start, no matter where you land tomorrow, you're going to be further along than where you were today. but you've got to start in order for progress to begin. Thanks a lot for spending a couple of minutes with me today, everybody. I really, really appreciate your time. And you know what? If there's someone in your circle that you think may need to hear this or could benefit from hearing this week, please do me a favor and share it out to them or tag them and let them know that it's okay to make mistakes and that you have to make mistakes in a lot of cases to move forward. I hope you have a great week, everybody, and I'll see you soon.